Well, thanks for visiting us here at KTALnews.com. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces with your Saturday severe weather update. This is your noon update, and so far so good for most of the Arklatex this morning, but we've had some trouble-making storms in Arkansas. A little bit of wind damage. Don't know if that was with the storms last night or today over in Lafayette County, but we did have a severe thunderstorm move through there that may have produced a little bit of wind damage, and the strongest storm produced maybe a brief tornado up towards Hope, Arkansas, and then it kind of moved from Hempstead County into Nevada County. We understand there are some trees that were knocked down over I-30, so the eastbound lanes are either slowed down or have stopped here, so some trouble spots there on I-30 through Arkansas, including Texarkana. Of course, a lot of the areas there received 7 to 8 inches of rain past few days here, so Texarkana, they have some closures along I-30 just due to the high water there, and hoping to see some improvements as we go through the day. Tornado watch, it is in effect until 7 p.m. here. I'm thinking we'll probably see the severe storms wrap up before then. It's been so far so good for the rest of the region here. We still have this area of low pressure. It is churning up some of these bands of showers and storms to the south of us. These are the ones to watch. These will be moving up into some of the warm air a few hours from now, but the temperatures here, most of the Arklatex have actually cooled back down into the 50s and 60s. If you're in the 50s, it's not really conducive to any kind of severe weather except for hail, so we'll have to watch a few storms, maybe produce some smaller, medium-sized hail with some of the storms moving up through East Texas. But our cold front is now moved through Shreveport. We're in the 60s, but the front is kind of stalling out here. We would like to get the front to the east of us as quickly as possible, but the temperatures here still in the 80s in Natchitoches, Manny, and up through DeSoto Parish and Bienville Parish. These are the areas to watch where the temperature is still above 70 degrees. This is where potentially we could see a few of the strong storms this afternoon. You'll notice where the warmer temperatures are, that's where the convective outlook here, or the thunderstorm outlook, is still highlighting that level 3 enhanced risk for Louisiana, so that's where the tornado potential will reside, and maybe some large hail if any storms are able to tap into the right ingredients, and of course a few damaging wind gusts. But behind Shreveport, these areas probably done with the severe weather threat for the most part. We're down to that marginal risk. Again, can't rule out maybe a storm bringing some hail in these areas, but it looks like it's going to stay pretty quiet in those locations. This is a look at your Robin-sided futurecast. We're just kind of projecting radar into the future here, and I think it has a pretty good handle on where the storms are right now. If anything, it may be running just a tad slow here. Futurecast shows some of those storms lingering through maybe 5 or 6 p.m., but again, just keeping an eye out for severe weather areas like Manny, Mansfield, Ringgold, Natchitoches, and maybe up into portions of Bienville Parish. But I think everybody else, again, probably seeing that risk for severe weather wind down pretty quickly. And you can see a few trailing storms close to sunset may still produce a little bit of hail here, but honestly looks like we can probably close the door on any severe weather once we get closer to sunset. Tonight, the rain should make its way off to the east, at least the heavy rain. May see a few of these showers kind of linger into Sunday morning here, but we're watching the rainfall. Of course, Texarkana has had some significant flooding where those areas did receive over 6 to 7 inches of rain. Looks like with the stronger storms this afternoon, may see some of these areas pick up, I would say maybe an inch or two of rain, maybe some isolated amounts where we see 2 to 3 inches of rain. But these areas south of I-20 have not really seen much rain this week, so we should be able to handle that without seeing any issues. Again, if we do see a few more storms move through Texarkana, still possible, but given the cooler air there, the rain won't be quite as heavy. But will take a little while for that water to recede in Texarkana, so some of those trouble spots may not see some improvements until later today as well as tomorrow. But we'll be here in the Weather Center, kind of keeping an eye on the storms for the next few hours. Hope everybody is able to get some quiet time in this weekend with those storms moving through, and we'll have some weather that's clearing up tomorrow and some terrific weather to look forward to next week. We don't have any storms in next week's forecast, and the sunshine should dry us out next Monday through Friday.